It's 3:14 in the morning. You've done the bath. You've done the white noise. You've read the book about the bunny 3 times. You finally lower them into the crib with the precision of a bomb disposal expert. And then, click. The eyes fly open. Not just open, they are bright, alert, and looking at you like they've just had a double espresso and are ready to discuss the geopolitical climate of the nursery. Your first thought is usually, why? Why won't you just let us both rest? It's easy to feel like your baby is being stubborn or difficult, but here's the secret. From a psychological perspective, refusing to sleep isn't an act of rebellion. In fact, your baby's brain is doing something incredibly complex, highly productive, and ironically very healthy. Welcome back to Baby's Mind Secrets. Today we are going inside the infant cranium to see what's really happening when your little one refuses to drift off. We're going to talk about the brain buzz, the biological paradox of being overtired, and the psychological concept of the great separation. By the end of this video, you'll understand that your baby isn't fighting you. They are navigating a massive neurological storm. Let's decode the science of the sleep resistor. 1. The active sleep blueprint. To understand why babies refuse to sleep, we have to acknowledge that their version of sleep is fundamentally different from ours. Adults have monophasic leaning sleep. We go down, we hit deep sleep, we dream, we wake up 8 hours later. But babies? They are born with polyphasic sleep hardware. Their brains are wired to sleep in short, intense bursts. But here is the psychological kicker: active sleep, REM. Adults spend about 20% of their sleep in REM, the dreaming, active phase. Infants spend 50% of their time in REM. Why does this matter? Because in REM sleep, the brain is almost as active as it is when it's awake. During this phase, the infant brain is busy, creating new neural pathways, processing the day's sensory input, strengthening memory. When your baby refuses to stay asleep, it's often because their brain is too busy to transition from this high-activity REM phase into a deeper, quieter sleep. To a baby, the transition from being awake to being asleep isn't a shutting down. It's a massive logistical shift in brain activity. Sometimes the brain is simply too excited by the data it's processing to make that shift smoothly. They aren't awake to annoy you. They are awake because their internal processor is running at 100% capacity. 2. The brain buzz. Practicing milestones. Have you ever noticed that your baby's sleep completely falls apart right before they learn to crawl, sit up, or walk? This is what psychologists call a cognitive leap. Think of your baby's brain like a software developer. When they are about to launch a new skill like standing up, the brain spends the entire night running the code for that skill. This is the psychology of motor learning. Studies have shown that during sleep, the motor cortex actually replays the movements learned during the day. This is why you'll see your baby practicing their crawling in their sleep, or suddenly popping up into a sitting position at 2 a.m. while they are technically still half asleep. The brain is so focused on mastering this new physical autonomy that it views sleep as an interruption. There is a biological drive to master these skills. In the baby's mind, the drive to practice is currently stronger than the drive to rest. Furthermore, as they gain these new skills, they discover agency. They realize they have the power to move, to change their environment, and to stay upright. Why would you want to go to sleep and give up that newfound superpower? This is the infant version of staying up late to play video games. The world is just too interesting to miss. We're about to dive into the overtired paradox and why your baby might actually be scared of sleep. But first, let's take a second to acknowledge the heroes of this story. You. If you are currently watching this video with one eye closed, while the other eye monitors the baby monitor, if you have ever tried to stealth crawl out of a nursery only to have your knee crack like a gunshot, we see you. We are you. Here at Baby's Mind Secrets, we believe that understanding the science makes the sleepless nights a little more bearable. When you know why they are awake, it's harder to be frustrated and easier to be fascinated. If you want more deep dives into the chaotic, brilliant world of your baby's mind, hit that subscribe button. Join our community of expert-level coffee drinkers, and let's figure this out together. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a nap time. A video release. And seriously, tell us in the comments, what is the most ridiculous thing you've done to try and get your baby to sleep? I once drove 40 miles in a circle because the car was the only thing that worked. Your turn. Let's hear the sleep-deprived, desperate measures in the comments. 3. The Great Separation. Object permanence. Now, let's talk about the psychological wall that hits around 6 to 8 months. Object permanence. Before this stage, if you left the room, you basically cease to exist in the baby's mind. Out of sight, out of mind was a literal reality. But once object permanence kicks in, your baby realizes that you still exist even when they can't see you. This is a double-edged sword for sleep. Suddenly, closing their eyes isn't just going to sleep. It's a separation. They know you are out there. They know you are in the other room. They know there are big people things happening without them. This leads to FOMO, fear of missing out. To a baby with newly developed object permanence, sleep feels like being excluded from the party. This is also when separation anxiety peaks. The act of falling asleep requires a letting go of their primary source of safety, you. If their attachment system is feeling a little insecure or extra clingy that day, they will fight sleep with everything they have because sleep feels like losing you. When they scream the moment you lay them down, they aren't saying, "I hate this bed." They are saying, "I am worried about where you go when I close my eyes." 4. The overtired paradox. Cortisol versus melatonin. This is the part that confuses every parent. You think, they are so tired they can barely keep their eyes open. Surely they'll just crash. Instead, they start screaming louder, arching their back, and acting like they've just had a liter of energy drink. This is the biological paradox of the overtired baby. When a baby misses their sleep window, their body enters a fight or flight mode. Because the baby is exhausted but hasn't slept, the brain assumes there must be an emergency. Why are we still awake? There must be a predator. We must stay alert. The brain then floods the system with cortisol, the stress hormone, and adrenaline. These hormones are designed to keep us awake and alert in a crisis. So the more tired the baby gets, the more wired their chemical makeup becomes. At this point, the baby physically cannot fall asleep easily. They are in a state of hyperarousal. This is why a baby who is overtired is 10 times harder to settle than a baby who is just tired. You aren't fighting a sleepy baby anymore. You're fighting a baby who is chemically primed for a marathon. So how do we work with the infant brain instead of against it? Here are 4 psychology-backed steps to handle the sleep refuser. Step 1. Lower the arousal baseline. If your baby is fighting sleep because of a brain buzz or overtiredness, you need to start the winding down process much earlier. 60 minutes before bed, dim the lights, turn off the TV, even in the background, and lower your voice. You are sending a signal to their nervous system that the emergency is over and it's safe to stop the cortisol production. Step 2. The object permanence bridge. Help them transition through the separation anxiety phase. Use a transitional object, if age appropriate and safe, or more importantly, a consistent ritual. When the exit from the room is predictable, it feels less like a sudden loss and more like a known step. Say the same phrase every night like, "I am right outside. I always come back." Even if they don't understand the words, they understand the rhythm. Step 3. Watch for the quiet alert phase. Don't wait for the rub eyes and scream phase. Look for the quiet alert phase. This is when the baby becomes still, their stare becomes a little glassy, and they lose interest in toys. This is the melatonin window. If you get them into the crib now, you are riding the natural biological wave of sleepiness before the cortisol takes over. Step 4. The lay pose method. If they wake up staring at the ceiling or practicing their crawling, wait. Because infants have so much REM active sleep, they often look or sound awake when they are actually just transitioning between cycles. If you jump in too fast, you actually wake them up fully, interrupting their brain's processing. Give them 2 to 5 minutes to see if they can bridge the gap themselves. At the end of the day, remember this: sleep isn't just something babies do, it's a skill they have to learn. Their brains are navigating a massive construction project every single night. When they refuse to sleep, it's a sign that their brain is busy, curious, and growing at an exponential rate. It's exhausting for you, but it's an incredible sign of development for them. You're doing a great job. The sleep will come, I promise. If you found this video helpful, please give us a like. It helps our Babies Mind Secrets community grow and supports other parents in the 3 a.m. trenches. What's next? To truly master the sleep game, you need to understand the sensory world of your baby. Watch our video on why babies stare at the ceiling right here to see how they use visual cues to reset their brains before sleep. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one, hopefully after a long nap.